Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. English Summary, Book 1, Lecture 2, Part B. We are going to discuss about the pronouns. Pronoun, it comes in the group of noun because it also has dun, dhan and then. That means it declines. Anything that has dun, dhan and then is noun. We are going to learn marfu, the nominative form of pronoun. Pronoun is a word used as a substitute for the noun, so that we don't repeat the noun. All pronouns stand in place of a noun to avoid repeating it. Muhammad came, Muhammad said, Muhammad ate, and Muhammad ran. It does not sound nice. We would say, Muhammad came, then he said, then he ate, and then he ran. How many kinds of pronoun are there in English? If the pronoun refers to the speaker, it is called first person, like I and we. If the pronoun refers to the hearer who is listening, it's called second person, you, who is in front of me. And if the pronoun refers to somebody who is not in front of us, he is absent, he is somewhere else, it is called third person. He, she, they, like this. In Arabic, we start with the third person. All the verbs in this first form, third person, start with past tense, and it will say he, not she. In pronoun also, we start with he. He is singular, it is third person and masculine. That he is not in front of us. It's used for a singular and it is also masculine. In Arabic language, things has to be either masculine or feminine. It's also in most of the languages. Either he or she, and it has to be a pair. In Arabic, nouns and adjectives fall in three categories. Singular, which relates to single, dual, which indicates two, and plural, which indicates more than two. In most of the language, it is only singular and plural. In Arabic, a dual is also there. The Arabic pronouns, we start with the third person. Third person masculine, al-ghaibu muzakkar. Al-ghaibu muzakkar. They are not present, they are absent. Huwa, huma, hum. He, they too, they. This is singular, this is dual, and this is plural. Third person feminine, al-ghaibu muannas. Al-ghaibu muannas. Here, huma is common in both, and it will be accordingly translated when it is used in the sentence. Hunna, she, they too, feminine, they, feminine. Second person masculine, al-mukhatabu muzakkar. Mukhatab, the person to whom you are addressing, or the person who is listening or hearing. Anta, antuma, antum. Anta singular, antuma dual, and antum plural. He, you two, all of you. Second person feminine, al-mukhatibu muannas. Anti, antuma is again common in both, and antunna, she, you two feminine, all of you feminine. First person masculine and feminine. In the first person, both the pronouns are same for muzakkar as well as muannas. And we call it al-mutakallim. I and we. Ana, nahnu. Ana is singular and nahnu is plural. In this form, there is no dual. These pronouns which we have discussed are called zamirun munfasilun. The detached or separate pronouns, they are independent, they stand on their own and are not attached to any other word. They are all marfu, and most of the time they come as subject mubtada. Ana mudarrisun. I am a teacher. This is a pronoun for first person singular. Ana is a subject. It's marfu and it is definite noun. All pronouns are definite because it is replacing the noun. Mudarrisun, this is predicate khabar. It is also marfu and it is indefinite noun, nakira. Subject mubtada is always marfu and most of the time definite. Predicate khabar is always marfu and most of the time it is indefinite. The other example, anta talibun, you are a student. Anta is mubtada and talibun is predicate khabar. Anta is second person singular pronoun. Huwa talibun, this huwa is third person singular pronoun. He is a student. Huwa is subject mubtada and talibun is predicate khabar. As we discussed, mubtada is always marfu and even predicate is always marfu. Mubtada is most of the time definite and predicate is most of the time indefinite. This I have given just because of the song which he has done in his course. So it is very easy for you to remember. So just repeat. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. We should memorize this. Lesson 4. Al-baytu fi al-bayti. Now from over here it is marfu with dhamma and over here it is majroor with kasra. Preposition, fi is a preposition, has pulled down to ti. That means it becomes from al-baytu to fi al-bayti. Preposition we call it harfu jarrin or simply we will call harfu jar. It will always be followed by ism majroor. So as he did the exercise, you do it yourself. Harfu jar, your reply should be ism majroor. Harfu jar, ism majroor. Harfu jar, ism majroor. We should repeat it again and again like this. Fi means in, ala means on. Al-baytu, fi al-bayti. House, in the house. Al-masjidu, the masjid. Fi al-masjidi, in the masjid. Al-maktubu, table. Al-maktubu, on the table. As-sariru, bed. Al-sariri, it is on the bed. As discussed again and again, subject is always marfu. It will have a dhamma on the last letter and it will be definite. Predicate will always be marfu and it will be most of the time indefinite. Predicate will be marfu only if it is single word. Types of predicate, al-khabar. There are 5 types of predicate, khabar. It is one word and it is marfu. It is proposition, harfu jar, followed by ism majroor. If you see, fi al-bayti, fi is proposition, it's harfu jar, followed by al-bayti, it is ism majroor. Together they are called jarun wa majroorun. What is a sentence? Sentence is a group of words which make complete sense. And a group of words which do not make complete sense, then we call it a phrase. Fi al-bayti, in the house. It is not a sentence. It is a phrase. In Arabic we call it shubu jamla. Shubu means something similar or looks like. And jamla means sentence. So it is similar to sentence, but it is not a sentence. Muhammadun fil masjid. Muhammad is in the masjid. Muhammadun is mubtada. Fi is harfu jar and it is followed by al-masjidi ism majroor. And together we call it Jarun wa Majrurun. So fil masjidi is Jarun wa Majrurun Shubu Jumla Khabar. So together with Mubtada and with Shubu Jumla Khabar, it becomes a nominal sentence. In English, you can say fi is preposition followed by al-masjidi, a noun in genitive case. Together they are called phrase and it is a predicate. Now we will practice. Aina Muhammadun, where is Muhammad? We do not analyze the question. Huwa fil ghurfati, he is in the room. Huwa is mubtada, fi is harfu jar, and al-ghurfati is ism majroor. So together fi al-ghurfati is jarun majroorun shubbu jumla khabar. So this makes it huwa fil ghurfati nominal sentence. Jumla ismiya. Wa aina yasirun, and where is Yasir? Huwa fil hammami, he is in the bathroom. Huwa mubtada, fi harfu jar, al hammami is majroor. So together fi al hammami is jarun majroorun shubbu jumla khabar, and this becomes a jumlatul ismiya because huwa and khabar is the part of jumla ismiya. Wa aina amanat, where is Amna? Here fil madbakh. Here this is the pronoun for female, singular, third person. Fi harfu jar, madbakhi jarun wa majrurun. This is kitchen. She is in the kitchen. Fi madbakhi jarun majrurun shubbu jumla khabar. Repeat it again and again. Then we will understand everything, inshallah. Aina al-kitabu, where is the book? Al-kitabu, this is now definite with huwa al-maktabi. Now we will translate it. It is on the table. Huwa is mubtada, al-maktabi is, ala is harf jar, al-maktabi is majroor. Together they are jarun majroorun shubbu jumla khabar. Wa aina as-sa'atu, and where is the watch? Here ala sariri, it is on the bed. Here is mubtada, and now as-sa'atu is a feminine noun, so here has been used over here. Ala is harf jar, as-sariri is ism majroor, ala sariri is jarun wa majroorun shubbu jumla khabar. I have all written over here. You can anytime go and repeat it and try to understand it. Alhamdulillah, today's summary is finished. Alhamdulillah.